is that the bill proposes to amend the Stamp Duty Act, and it basically exempts stamp duty on the transfer of property by a company to its shareholders as part of internal reorganization. Asanteni sana. I will hand over. I'll give my colleague pale alafu ataendelea. Thank you so much.
Asante sana mwenzangu Penina Sibiren ambaye ni wakili, na kwa ruhusa ya mheshimiwa labda ningekusia mambo mawili matatu ili wakati ambapo utakuwa unatoa mchango wako kama mwananchi itakuwa ni ya manufaa kwako. Kwa hivyo jinsi ambavyo mwenzangu ametaja ni kwamba tuna miswada miwili ambayo imekabidhiwa kamati ya fedha na mipango ya taifa, Finance National Planning Committee, na ni kamati ya bunge la taifa. Kamati yenyewe imekabidhiwa miswada hii miwili, na kwa mujibu wa katiba yetu ibara 118 inataja kwamba mwananchi ana haki ya kuchangia miswada au shughuli yote ambayo imewasilishwa katika bunge la taifa, ili katika kutoa michango serikali au bunge la taifa liwe na taarifa au habari kutoka kwa wananchi kuhusu sheria ambazo zinapitishwa bungeni. Kwa hivyo ni uwezo wako wa kikatiba kwamba wewe mwananchi utatoa sauti yako katika sheria ambazo zinapitishwa bungeni. Kwa hivyo nimetaja kwamba miswada ni miwili, na mwenzangu amegusia kwa mapana na marefu huu mswada wa fedha, vifungu ambavyo vipo katika mswada huu wa fedha. Na wakati ambapo wanakamati watafika, watawaalika ili mtoe michango yenu. Kwa hivyo ikiwa utapewa mikrofoni, wewe mwenyewe utajitambulisha, utaje majina yako, ni sehemu gani unatoka, kisha uelezee kamati unazungumzia mswada gani, kwa sababu miswada ni miwili. Kuna finance bill ni rasilimali pepe, lakini nitagusia kwa ufupi virtual assets, kwa sababu tunajua kuna pesa ambazo huwa tunazishika mkononi, lakini kuna pesa zingine ambazo hatuzishiki mkononi, na ni pesa ambazo ziko pale mtandaoni au kwa internet, na nitagusia. Kwa hivyo wakataja sababu ambazo zinakupelekea kupinga mswada. Taja sababu ambazo zinakupelekea kupinga mswada. Lakini la muhimu ni utoe marekebisho. Useme kwamba ndio nakubaliana nanyi, lakini ingekuwa bora ikiwa kamati itaangalia kifungu fulani. Mimi kama mwananchi hapa nitakuwa nimefinyika, na pendekezo langu ni kwamba lirekebishwe ili liangazie tatizo ambalo mimi kama mwananchi naona kwamba nitakuwa nimeelemewa. Na kwamba mswada wenyewe haujakuwa sheria bado, ndio maana tunaita mswada. Ni mapendekezo tu, na mapendekezo yenyewe inamaanisha kwamba kila ambacho kimeandikwa pale kitarekebishwa. Labda nitaje tu kwa ufupi kwamba katika kushughulikia mswada kwenye bungeni, mswada utachapishwa jinsi ambavyo umechapishwa na nakala ya mswada, na wakati ambapo umechapishwa na umekabidhiwa kamati ya bunge na likafanya shughuli kama hii, marekebisho ambayo yatapatikana kutokana na mchango wa wananchi, marekebisho hayo yatawekwa katika ripoti ya kamati, na kamati yenyewe itazingatia maoni ya wananchi. Hali ambapo wananchi hawajafurahia, kamati pia inaweza ikatoa mapendekezo ili kurekebisha vifungu katika mswada. Kwa hivyo ni uwezo muhimu sana wewe kama mwananchi wakati ambapo unatoa mchango wako. Kwa hivyo labda nitaje tu ni kwamba mswada wa fedha mara nyingi hurekebisha vifungu vya sheria tofauti tofauti, na kuna sheria tofauti tofauti ambazo zipo, na jinsi ambavyo imetajwa
kuna sheria, kwa mfano, karibu mheshimiwa. Karibu mheshimiwa. Karibu. Karibuni sana. Jinsi ambavyo nilikuwa nimetaja, ukiangalia katika mswada wa fedha, mswada wenyewe wa fedha unarekebisha sheria tofauti ambazo zinalingana na ushuru. Kwa hivyo, kwa mfano, jinsi ambavyo mwenzangu alikuwa ametaja, kuna marekebisho ya sheria ambayo inaitwa Income Tax Act, na ni sheria ya ushuru wa mapato. Na mara nyingi unapata kwamba ikiwa kwa mfano ni kampuni au mtu binafsi, kuna ushuru ambao unafaa kutozwa kwa mapato ambayo mtu anapata. Income Tax Act, na jinsi ambavyo mwenzangu ameelezea, kuna marekebisho ambayo yamependekezwa katika sheria ile. Kisha kuna sheria nyingine ambayo inaitwa Value Added Tax Act, na mara nyingi unapata kwamba ikiwa unanunua bidhaa fulani, mara nyingi unapata kwamba kuna kiwango fulani cha ushuru ambao umetozwa pale. Inaweza ikawa ni pakiti ya maziwa kwa mfano, inaweza ikawa ni bila yote ile. Mara nyingi unapata kwamba kuna ushuru ambao umetozwa kwa ile bidhaa, Value Added Tax Act. Kisha kuna excess duty. Excess duty ni ushuru wa bidhaa, na mara nyingi jinsi ambavyo wabunge watawaelezea ni kwamba katika excess duty utapata kwamba kuna bidhaa zingine ambazo mara nyingi zinadhuru wananchi, lakini pia serikali ingependekeza kupata ushuru au malipo kutokana na hizo bidhaa. Kwa mfano, inaweza ikawa ni pombe au sigara, na kisha kuna kiwango fulani cha ushuru ambao umetozwa pale, excess duty. Kisha kuna sheria nyingine ambayo ni miscellaneous fees and levies, ada mbalimbali ambazo mwenzangu ametaja. Kwa hivyo, kwa ufupi, katika mswada huu wa fedha ni marekebisho ambayo yananuia kukusanya ushuru ili iwezeshe maendeleo katika taifa letu. Kwa sababu wabunge wamefika, labda nitaje tu kidogo kuhusu Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, ambao ni mswada wa pili ambalo mimi nitachangia. Katika mswada huu wa Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill inajibu swali moja, na labda naweza nikatoa mfano kwa wale ambao ni vijana hapa, labda wamesikia kuna jambo fulani inaitwa cryptocurrency. Sijui kama kuna wale ambao wamesikia cryptocurrency ama wamesikia Bitcoin, kwamba kuna pesa zingine ambazo zinapatikana kwa mtandao. Mtu hatakuwa na noti au pesa ambayo unaweza ukashika kwa mkono, lakini ni pesa ambazo ziko mtandaoni, na ni teknolojia imetupelekea hapa hivi. Na hizo pesa unapata kwamba katika mfumo wa kompyuta au mtandao, unapata kwamba kuna pesa ambazo zimo mtandaoni, na watu wanaweza wakanunua bidhaa kutumia hizo pesa ambazo ziko mtandaoni. Na katika mswada huu inaitwa virtual asset. Katika lugha ya Kiswahili na labda ni msamiati mgumu, inaitwa rasilimali pepe, kwamba hizi pesa ambazo zinatumika mtandaoni, je, kazi ya serikali itakuwa ni gani ili kudhibiti wale ambao wanatumia hizi pesa au wanatoa huduma za pesa kama hizi? Kwa hivyo katika mswada huu unatoa mfumo wa kisheria wa kudhibiti jinsi ambavyo biashara kama hizi zinaweza kuendeshwa, kwa sababu zipo njia moja. Serikali inaweza ikawa ikasema kwamba haituhusu. Hizi pesa za mtandaoni hazituhusu sisi wenyewe, hatutashughulika. Lakini kuna uwezekano kwamba wananchi wanaweza wakaporwa, kwamba wewe ni unatoa huduma ya pesa kama hizi rasilimali pepe, kisha ikawadhuru wananchi wakapoteza pesa zao. Kwa hivyo katika mswada huu wa pili unatoa pendekezo la mfumo wa kisheria wa jinsi ambavyo wanaweza wakadhibiti hizi rasilimali pepe au virtual assets. Kwa hivyo ni pendekezo la sheria, na katika kutoa mchango wako unaweza ukaelezea kama unakubaliana nalo au ukubaliani nalo. Na katika mswada wenyewe unapendekeza kwamba mamlaka ambayo yatadhibiti rasilimali pepe au virtual assets itakuwa ni Central Bank of Kenya, Benki Kuu ya Kenya na Capital Markets Authority, mamlaka ya mitaji ya soko. Kwa hivyo ni pendekezo tu, lakini dhana au wazo la serikali ni kwamba hizi rasilimali pepe au virtual assets lazima zidhibitiwe ili wasaidie wananchi wasiweze wakapoteza pesa zao. Kwa hivyo utatoa mchango wako ueleze kwamba ikiwa unakubaliana nalo, unaunga mkono au haungi mkono, na muhimu utoe sababu zako na marekebisho. Useme kwamba katika kifungu fulani katika mswada huu nimekubaliana nalo ama sikubaliani nalo, na itarekodiwa. Kwa hivyo nawashukuru sana, ningependa kupisha mikrofoni kwa mwenyekiti ili aendelee. Asante sana mwenyekiti. Mpigieni makofi. Najua mheshimiwa anasema ujue sijui Kiswahili, lakini ajue kama mimi nimesomea Shimo la Tewa High School. Shimo la Tewa liko Mombasa. Good morning everybody. Welcome to this session, and the way you conduct it, this is a parliamentary session. All the laws which govern the parliament business applies to this. So before we proceed, let me ask Honorable Paul Kipiego to lead us with a word of prayer. This is parliamentary word of prayer. Shughuli ya kanisa. Asante.
Maombi ni maombi. Thus, the word of prayer as prayer. Let's start again. Let's bow down for a word of prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in the Republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. We start with the direct introduction of the members of parliament, starting with Paul.
Thank you, Session Chair. My name is Paul Kipiego, Member of Parliament, Chisumi constituency, that is in this particular county, we are in Nandi, and I'm a member of
nitajaribu kuongea lugha ya Kiswahili lakini sitafikia wakili Lorot. Mimi kwa majina najulikana kama Mwasibu Julius Ruto, mjumbe eneo bunge la Kisesa ambaye ni jirani hapa kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Pia nami ni moja katika kamati ya fedha na mipango za kitaifa. Asante. Secretariat.
Good morning, my name is James Mashere, Judge of Media and Communication for the committee.
Good morning, I'm Salim Legal Counsel.
Good morning, I'm Very Manwat, Research Officer.
Good morning, my name is Media Communication Officer. Thank you. Benjamin Mabot, the lead clerk for the committee. Cyril David, Fiscal Analyst.
Good morning, Elena Simran, Legal Counsel. Good morning, I'm Jenny Fandito, Deputy Director, Legal Services in the National Assembly.
Okay, we are accompanied by the DCC. Yeah, he's interfering with the parliamentary proceedings. So I'll go into order. Yes, we want to give you a chance to introduce your people and invite us to Nandi County.
Thank you so much. The chair and the leader of the delegation that is before us from Parliament. This is the Parliamentary Committee on Finance and National Planning. Thank you so much for this opportunity. All protocol observed, I wish to greet you. How are you this morning? You're fine. So thank you. My name is Alfred Gilo, Deputy County Commissioner, Nandi Central. I'm here on behalf of the County Commissioner, Madam Caroline Zuli. She sent her greetings and she has welcomed you in Nandi County. Feel at home. She couldn't make it to be here because of some other official engagement in Nairobi. But I believe the office is well represented, as you can see. With us here, we have various categories. Local wananchi, we have religious leaders, Buddha, girls, they're all here. So first, I'll give an opportunity for the ACC for Kapsabet Division, because we are here in his area, to introduce himself and also help me in introducing the rest of the team. With your permission, sir. Asante.
All protocols observed. Good morning. Yeah, I'm Magera Lumumba, Assistant County Commissioner, Kapsabet Division. So please feel most welcome to Kapsabet Division. Without wasting time, I will start with the field agenda as well in the room. Please stand up. Just wave. Okay, get seated. Boda. Wale muko. Okay, opinion leaders. Wale muko. Tusalimie. Okay, the clutch. Salmiana. Kiongozi wao muko wako wapi? Okay, salimiana. Sawa. So sijui civil society. Okay, simama salimiana. Okay. Now I think tumemaliza hapo. Ibakuli muko wapi? Very good. Simama, you're very important. Sawa, fanya namna hii. Okay. the business society, especially businessmen in this town, wafanyabiashara mko wapi? Chamber of Commerce, niliona mwawili hapa sijui ama wako nje. Anyway, sawa. Thanks. So now, sir, very fast. So,
Good morning. Concerning ongoing finance bill and how we expect or anticipate about the revenue collection and the plans that the national government has for the people of this country. So thank you so much. And before I sit down, there's something concerning virtual asset that I picked up, and I think this is a good move towards that direction, because nowadays we have so many of us, and mostly the young generation, all the activities are being done online. Job seeking is online. Investment is online. So there's a lot of activity going on in the online platform, and there's a need to moderate and to control all the activities. As we have seen, we also have a lot of apps that are available for learning facilities. There's so many apps there, and we are wondering how are they being controlled because of the high interest rates that they are charging on 190. And many are scrupulous apps. So this is the best way and the best direction that the government is taking on how to control these online services. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me also introduce myself. I'm Paul David Mwalika, Member of Parliament for the Rural, standing in for the chair of the committee, Honorable CPA Akimani Kuria, who will be joining us shortly, because he's probably from Nairobi at OEM. First of all, let me say I'm very impressed by the turnout of the participants. It's very encouraging. This is our second time we are doing finance bill participation at the headquarters at county levels. Last year we did conduct. This year we are conducting for 10 counties. We have Nairobi, we have Migori, we have Busia, we have Nandi, we have Panzoya. Tomorrow we'll be in Kiambu and Machakos. Then the day on Friday we are going to be in Iguala and Ilika and Mombasa. That's around 20 economies. Because we realize conducting finance bill participation, any bill participation in Nairobi does not reach the common one like this in Europe. So when you come here, you also know what is happening, and you can also ask questions, clarification. You can also propose on the bill what needs to be done. This time round, we are doing bulk participation on 2 bills. We have the finance bill 2025, and then we have the virtual asset providers bill 2025. And I think our clerk has taken you through the finance bill and the virtual assets. If you look at the finance bill as 5 parts, we have the income tax, which deals with the pay as you earn, corporate tax for companies, basically. Then we have the VAT. When you buy something in a market, in a supermarket, supermarket in the supermarket, for example, I'm in the shop, is what we call value-added tax. It's normally around 50% for most of the goods, apart from the essential goods like milk, maize flour, that kind of thing. And then we have the excise duty, and this one is normally put on luxurious goods like beer, spirits, gaming, all those things. We feel that we also need to control them because of their usage can be harmful to the rights of Kenyans. Then we have the miscellaneous fees and levies, and lastly we have tax procedures. And I think we have taken you through. And then now we have the virtual assets. And virtual assets, I think DCC, you have said it very well. There are money bitcoins which are everywhere. Not money you can see, but it's there. And it's worth trillions of dollars currently. And, you know, it's being sold everywhere. But we are asking if your money gets lost, whom are you going to ask for your money? That's why we have brought the bill on virtual asset providers so that we can regulate that market. If your money gets lost, you know where to go. These people are going to be regulated, they are going to be registered, they are going to be licensed, so that and even the country knows who is doing this business. So, and to have that a very, very important bill. Nandi County, you are very lucky, because 2 weeks ago, the Committee of Budget and Appropriation Committee was here. I think it was here. And you gave your views, and they are going to be taken into consideration so that the budget is accepted by the people of this country. Now, we have this, what we call QR code. QR code. If you scan this document, you can be able to put your submission, written submission in this. And that's what we are telling people, instead of all of us, because we cannot reach everybody. If you have to reach every Kenyan, I think even the whole of this year will be still conduct public participation. But we are encouraging people to put their submission on this. When you put it here, you scan and you put your submission here, our secretariats will be able to retrieve it, analyze it, and be part of the report which we are going to write. So, this is the way I want us to go, because I think you have been able to read the bill and you understand. We are going to ask anybody who has a question, who wants a clarification, or even a proposal on what need to be done on a particular clause, you know, each and every particular clause. If you have issues with income tax, you have issues with income tax, you have issues to do with the VAT, you can raise your issues there. Let me tell you, there are people who have been saying things which are not in the finance bill. Yesterday, somebody said to me, actually it's even a member of it. You remember who sent me some issues, and even telling me pay as you earn is going to be increased from 35% to that 7.5%, which is wrong. It's not in this finance bill. So if you look at the finance bill, it will tell you what government intends to do. So avoid getting things from people who don't want finance bill to succeed. Because finance bill, we said last week, 2 weeks ago, budget was here, and you accepted the budget. The question is, how are we going to fund the budget without finance bill? Finance bill is the one which raises revenue to fund government operations, government development, and also pay public debts, which they are struggling to pay. So, with those few remarks, I think I can ask anybody, but basically if you are going to ask any question or clarification, introduce yourself, and even say where you are coming from. Because, yeah, it's okay. All your houses. I know you want to go somewhere. And you say you are pastor, and you are also civil society. Yeah. Those are the people here a lot in this country. Civil society and a pastor. That combination is a good combination. Because yeah, so when you give you a chance, you are going to ask you a question, introduce yourself, where you come from, even the country you come from is very important. I've seen Paul Biego, you have brought a big team from Italy, so teams, that's very good. Yeah, so with a few remarks, I'll give you the first test. Then second one. Let's deal with these two parts, right? Yes. And members are requested to put down the questions so that we can be able to help each other. Yes. And then even the way you see the bill, isn't it? Not even the question. No, you can ask any question. Clarity. You can also propose how you think it needs to be done. You can also reject. There's no harm. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. Jina langu ni Kasisi Reverend Simon Cheriot Nyoros from Africa Inland Church, Kenya. And I'm the Chair Human Rights and Mediation Center in Nandi County. I also happen to bought a land in Nandi East, that is Nandi Hills constituency. And here, I also live in this town. So I come from two areas. Thank you very much, the lead counsel who was taking us this morning. Number one, the deletion, I appreciate the deletion of the word husband, and it became a spouse because of my wife and my daughters. Because if it was only me, my wife and my daughters were going to lose a lot. So the word spouse is really appropriate, and it has come on the right time. So I think the parliamentarians are now up to task to make sure they also include their spouses.
Which clause?
Clause, that is page 33, 36. That's page 336. Let me use pages. Sir, thank you, Chair. And on section 7, I have only 9 issues, Chair. On section 7.
Maybe twende pole ukirifaa unatumia clause number.
Clause.
Section ni ile sheria imepitishwa na imesainiwa. Kwa sasa ni clause. Na ukisema clause 50 tutajua iko page ngapi, yani kila mtu atakuwa anafuata. So unarifaa hiyo clause. So page something but clause number 1.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll do that in the next comment, sir. Thank you. Mheshimiwa from SS. My first time to see you. Physically, I only see you on TV. I think you are my neighbor there. Thank you. Welcome. Section 7. Section 7 now. The expansion of tax brackets to even people using their computers at home or elsewhere. That is page 337, section 7. Allows let me use that section, let me just say section 7, sir, so that the rest will be inserted by the secretariat.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, because the secretariat are experts and they are here. So the taxpayers bracket, expanding tax brackets to even people using their computers at home. Personally, I was thinking this could have been part of creation of employment to the young people. I would not have supported the tax to be included there, because that is where also they earn their income. That is the using computers at home, the way we were taken through. I would propose that it should not be a mandatory to all, because this should be a part of the creation of employment. Because most of our children have computers and they really work on computers. On page 341, page 341, when during the civic education, section 1A, I think so, things are changing. Yes, 17. Wonderful, wonderful. Such an attack, thank you very much. That is why you are employed. Thank you. You really use my money, my taxes very well. Congratulate you and make sure it reaches the spouses. Now, number one, I was thinking, now, did this section consider PWDs? Are WDs considered in this relief and deduction of taxes? Number two there is that how will it be monitored after deduction that this money has reached where it is going? What is the methodology that is going to be employed there? I think that is a question after commenting that it is good to have taxes paid and deducted for some of us. Page 344 has some powers, and what informs the commissioner when exempting, when doing exemptions.
Which clause?
But I didn't follow this one. This one is too tiny for even my eyes to read. The one I'm holding is the bill, and it is that number.
Is it the PAG or?
Where the commissioner is, where the KRA commissioner is, where's the one commissioner is where I'm reading. So, I think 29, 8 schedule. It is 8 schedule to the income tax. Bunge iko na maneno mengi. Pia hapo section 32, section 32, section 17 of the Value Added Act is amended in section 5, number A, B, D, C. I'm talking now, I'm saying number D, the registered person lodges the claim for refund of the excess tax within 12 months from the date the tax becomes due. Now, my question is, why 12 months to refund excess tax? And when it was collected, Chair, it was just upfront. But now, it takes 12 months to refund. Sasa, siyo nisumbua roho kwa sababu sasa nitakuja fanyia nini hiyo pesa kama mimi ni mgonjwa na nikwende katikati. Hiyo pesa itakuja saidia nani na nimekufa. So I think Hapo ninakataa kabisa, na hao wananchi wa kaunti hii musikie mimi kabisa, na tukatae wote. So ni mzuri kurefund immediately. Kama umechukua pesa yangu, within, lawyers are here, they know how to refund. They say they refund money within 7 days or 14 days or 21 days. Kwa nini 12 months, Chair? That is too much. Thank you. Hapo Virtual Asset Act 2025. This is a very important topic that I was interested in, and even if it was not there, I was going to say it. But today ilikuwa hapa. Bitcoin mzee. Pesa ikamwagwa yote, zikaenda mpaka mafamily zikatengana. I have almost 10-15 families I'm canceling wametengana. Kirasmi, si ati watarudiana tena, walienda kabisa. Because some of them went to court. Virtual assets, Bitcoins, many people suffered in the recent past. I'm now supporting this bill to be a bill. It is now good that it is regulated. This must be regulated, Chair, so that these other people who became more educated before the others will never be able to benefit from the poor communities. Imagine mtu anauza ng'ombe, anauza shamba na akapeana hizo pesa. I know of many friends and clients who are gone through these virtual assets. Now, I recommend that the central bank and other relevant authorities be empowered in regulating the same. Because if what is in M-Pesa is being regulated by Safaricom, why not Bitcoins? Because in the rural setup, Chair, when I'm there, which older than myself is gone, kumaliza wiki mbili ni ngumu sana. Atakufa mara moja, kama hatakufa atakuwa na stroke, na tayari amekufa nusu, kwa sababu assets sote watoto watakuwa wanaangalia mzee. Mshahara tukishika tunakimbia kwa baba, na unajua hiyo time, mheshimiwa, mzee anaweza laana mtu, so tunaokoa tusilaaniwe na mtu ali-create problem mahali naitwa virtual assets, ambaye watu wengi hawaelewi. Najua masomo ilikuja na ikaenda kwa mafamilies wengine. Kuna families walifikiria wakikaa nyumbani bila shule ni poa pia, so hawa ndio wanaporwa sana. So imagine a family broke up due to this virtual assets, Bitcoins. It's Bitcoin. It should be regulated. Thank you. Lastly, in section 36.
Of which one now? Virtual assets?
No. I'm going back.
Oh.
I'm going back. Sorry. I'm going back on section 6A, part 1 of the first schedule, the Value Added Act, number B, section B, paragraph 51. It says, maneno ya lubricants, tires for vehicles, which is zero rated. When we were taken for during the civic education, we were told it is now zero rated. A good move. Ite ya kwamba wasiweke tena tax hapo, kwa sababu watu wengi wanaumia wakinunua hizo vyombo. I think I'm almost the last part, Mr. Chair. Cabinet Secretary, on page 350 of this Commissioner shall, I think section 41, section 17 of the exercise duty, which is talking about 14 days of receipt of required documents immediately after the words Commissioner shall. But my comments are, Cabinet Secretary have powers to waive the tax. And if he has powers or she has powers, what is the process before the CS concludes his or her decision of the sale. What informs the process of waiving the tax? Tuseme leo Mheshimiwa Chair, you are my brother, na wewe ni commissioner wa KRA, na mimi ni reverend, na mimi nataka sasa unisaidie nilete magari 10 ng'ambo. And you are my brother, you are commissioner. Unajua commissioner iko kwa ofisi, lakini brother iko nyumbani. So itakuwaje Mheshimiwa? Itakuwaje Mheshimiwa nikuje kwako kama ndugu yangu na wewe ni commissioner na unione kabisa serikali wana tax na wewe ni ndugu yangu? So I was talking about the process of it and what informs the process.
Okay.
We are there committed to the same.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Mamaliza.
nimemaliza.
Yes.
Nimeshukuru sana, asante sana, Mungu awabariki.
Yeah. In bunge, welcome Senator. Senator. Yeah, welcome Senator. Senator, introduce yourself, please. And then you welcome us to.
Good. Is it afternoon? Yeah, good afternoon. Jambo. Jamge. Mune. Bas, mimi sina mambo mingi. Nimekuja kufanya public participation. Mimi ndio area senator. Nijisikie huko nyumbani. Najua wewe umetoka Ukambani. Na tulikuwa na yao mapi karibu nyumbani na kujisikia huko huru. After this, make sure unakunywa receipt. At the opportune time, I'll give out my presentation on finance bill and virtual assets bill. Asante sana.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator, for coming. Thank you very much for what you have presented and the questions you asked. In fact, that's what we expect. To ask questions and also support. When you feel something is good, also support. Also, you have given us good proposals. You have asked us very good questions. And I will ask, let me say this. The one you are saying, if you are my brother, and you want your tax to be waived, if there is any tax to be waived, there is a process. Either by law, even a commission has a power given by law to waive taxes on certain conditions. For example, if there is a project which is being funded by a donor, like World Bank, there is a provisions for waiving those taxes. Even if I'm your brother and you imported the vehicles, and there's no provision for duty exemptions, I cannot allow you. I mean, law has to apply. So I think that is very, very important. You talked about tires, zero rating. When talking about zero rating, when a product is zero rated, the manufacturer or the trader is allowed to claim input VAT, right? So basically, a lot of suppliers or manufacturers, they want zero rating because they can go to claim VAT. The opposite of zero rating is VAT exempt. When you are VAT exempt category, you don't claim input VAT, and the product becomes a bit expensive. I think that's very clear on that. It's true that virtual assets, a lot of people have lost money on this, and that's why the bill is establishing virtual assets regulatory authorities, so that they can be regulated, right? For example, today when you go to the bank, you know where you have put your money. If the money gets lost, you know where you can go. But with regard to assets, nobody knows them. They are there, and people are buying. But if your money disappears, whom are you going to? And that's why this bill is trying to address that kind of issues. There are other clauses which you have mentioned, and I'll ask the Honorable CPA.
Niruhusu nisimame ndio mimi ni mfupi nionekane. Kwa ndiko kuonekana mahali hapo. Mheshimiwa amegusia vipengele kadhaa ambavyo singependa kurudia. Clause number 12, minimum tax requirement. Number 1, this clause ina focus on non-residents, not residents. Non-residents, these are the business owners who trade business in the boundaries of Kenya, but then they are not Kenyans. Business providers. Ili mnajua saizi ukiwa Eldoret ukitaka taxi, unaenda kwa simu yako, unaenda kwa app ya Wasili, unaipa taxi, anakuja, unalipa. Ukiwa Nairobi kuna watu kama Uber na Bolt. Ama ukikaa kwa nyumba kuna mtu anaitwa Close, unaizia chakula, anaenda kukuletea chakula mpaka kwako, unalipa. Ni nani anaown your system? Uber is an international company. Bolt is an international company. Lakini wana derive income in Kenya. So sasa ile unatafuta hiyo service, kuna kitu inaitwa commission. Sasa serikali inamwambia huyo jamaa kabla hajachukua pesa ile ameunda Kenya, atuwajie tax inaitwa minimum tax. Na iko na kipengele around 5 million on revenue and above. So hiyo haihusu Mkenya penye umesema inatumia kompyuta yako. Yes, wewe utatumia kompyuta yako ama simu yako kuidisha huduma kupitia hiyo platform. Ule platform atapata commission. Hiyo commission atachukua ende kwao. Sasa namna hiyo ataenda kujenga kwao mali kabla mali ambayo ilikuwa registered. So the commissioner, this particular bill nataka kuempower commissioner kuitisha kitu inaitwa minimum tax. So sio Kenya. Umeuliza jambo lingine kuhusu maneno ya VAT rebates, hiyo clause 32 inahusu VAT. Wenye mheshimiwa ameeleza VAT kuna 3 regimes ya VAT. Kuna standard. Hii yetu unanunua, unaenda kununua kalamu, unaongezewa VAT. Inaitwa consumer tax. Ni tax ya consumption. Unaenda kununua hii maji, iko na VAT. Sasa mwenye duka ambaye ni agent, kama ni standard, kazi yake kila mwezi kisha atafanya hesabu yake, aseme siku ile nilinunua hii maji kutoka kwa manufacturer, alinitaisha VAT shilingi fulani. Siku ile niliuzia Reverend Nyoros maji, nikamuuzia nikauza na VAT ya shilingi fulani. So kazi yake ni kufanya hesabu kusema ile Reverend Nyoros alinipatia kwa kuwa ni consumer, the person who pay minus ile nilimlipa ule. Akipata hesabu kuna kitu iko excess analipa serikali. Akipata kuna kitu iko under ana claim credit. Hiyo ni standard. Kuna kitu inaitwa exemption. VAT iko exempted, hiyo VAT anai cost kwa cost of product. Kama hii maji, kama atahitaji maji produce sema juice kama hiyo. Consumer, hiyo VAT imeingia kwa nini? Imeinform the cost of your product before the margin yake. Ikikuwa zero rated, kama ni zero rated, ni serikali inamlipia hiyo. Kuna baadhi ya bidhaa kwa mshahara, ushuru imekusanya kwingine, alafu irefund kwa mwenye duka. Sasa hii clause commission anasema mnipatie nafasi ya mwezi 12 akikuwa na sababu yake. Sasa wewe mwanabiashara unasema hapana, ukikaa na hii pesa mwezi 12 utaumiza biashara yangu. Na hiyo inaeleza pia, unasikia kila wakati wanabiashara wanalalamika, serikali tunadai pesa yetu walipatia. Commission anasema anahitaji mtu kukusanya hii pesa, kwa kuwa lazima atoe kwingine akusanye ili afanye nini? Akurudishie. Ya mwisho, hiyo VAT pia inachangia ile inaitwa tax expenditure. Ulisikia report ya serikali ikisema mwaka 2023 tax expenditure ilikuwa 560 billion. Hii ile pesa serikali imekusanya inafaa kurudisha. Na sasa hiyo ujue deni ya Kenya tunaomba ni ngapi? Around 700 billion. So unaona ina compensate. So serikali inajaribu ku minimize what we call tax expenditure kwa kupusha kwa exemption. I think nimemaliza. Ya mwisho ile ungegusa ni tumeelezewa. Kama aswa mimi naona hii ni common kwa hospitali ya mission hospitals ama dona kama ya madawa. Sasa ile wewe kama pastor uko na wasugura kwenye kanisa ina sponsor, unataka BAT claim essentials. Process ni mpaka kwanza wizara husika inakujua. Kama ni madawa, wizara ya health wa fedha kumuuliza I accept the Reverend Nyorozo kwa ile kazi anafanya kule mashinani inatusaidia kwa serikali kwa kuendesha masuala ya afya. So that is the process. Sasa hii bill haiwezi andika details. It was about taxes. The other process will be defined in the administrative way. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think the clause which he has not handled is clause 17.1a on tax deductible. What the bill is proposing is that when you get your income, your payslip, your income, right, and right, even housing now is housing levy, all the levies, they are deducted before you are able to pay an amount more income than if the whole amount is subjected to pay as you earn. So it's a positive thing. People are going to have more disposable income, and they can have more to spend more, and then. Thank you very much.
Sababu gani serikali inataka kutoa relief? Ili kuendelea wewe mimi na jirani sasa tunafanya kazi. Contract yetu itaisha within the next 2 years. Unakuja kwenu. Na uenda mtupende mtueleze. Huyu anafanya kazi, akienda retire. Serikali inakuencourage uweke insurance ya life yako ulipie. Sasa ile unalipa hiyo insurance, serikali inakuencourage kukupatia relief before you tax. Maneno ya PWD iko na regime yake ambao pia sasa kama wewe unafanya kazi hata kujipanga ilipia insurance yako ya baada ya retirement. Serikali inakupatia it's kama tax plan. Upunguze taxes upate na pesa mingi pale.
Yes, I think thank you very much. You can, I know you did not have time to read the bill. Actually, I was telling him that if Reverend, we gave this bill to Reverend yesterday. So what you do, you can read the bill. You use this one to submit your submission. That one will be able to. Yes, I think we will give you a chance. Yes.
Thank you very much. Chair. Our team, thank you very much for what you have done. Thank you very much. All protocol observed. I'm Moses Abraham Koga, Sio Koga, Ayawe, Koga, K-O-G-A, Koga Odera. So the very wide drop is because it is as if Mungu aliongea na sisi. Now, Reverend, whatever you have done, I don't want to repeat. And you have really like to have General 1 in section part 1 in income tax, where I've seen the benefit retirement. I would like benefit retirees have been suffering, being part of the, being one of them. When somebody has retired, the benefit you would like to get, that's a very important thing. Because some of us in the field of rumor-mongering, that should allow me, Chairman, that has been a very important part of Kenya propaganda. Kenya is set up in a political propagandist instrument. 75% is propagandism, whereby the truth is only 25%. And some of them, including which are wongos, and you get only one, which is true. And this one will help us also to help to get the education is required here is in Kenya. When it comes to the ground of this, when you have civics education, has knowledge and informed and ready to give you what is necessary, and you take very little time. Last part of it, Kenya, because education is knowledge is power. Last part of it, which I became one of the victims, is the virtual. This, our intelligence has increased in this, what do we call it? Technology, whereby some of us are earning life. So I support the regulatory of this virtual to be government to look into it and go into details on how the common man that it cannot be robbed and they cannot create misunderstanding in the families, because the family is the standing cornerstone of the country.
Okay.
Thank you. May the Lord with you.
Yes.
As you continue.
Yeah.
But I support the finance bill because the benefit by the government, which will return to me to live a better life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think yours was comment, but in fact, why you should even support the finance bill very much is clause 2A2, whereby this bill is proposing removing pay as you earn. And that one, I think, is excellent. The President talked about it. So it's going to be a law. So whatever you get as your retirement benefits, whatever you get monthly as your retirement income, is not going to be subjected to pay as you earn.
Thank you.
So you begin about one. No begin president about. No begin committee of finance about. No begin senator when about. Asante sana. So I think
when we were doing in December the tax amendment laws, we factored in the issue of time processing, because you raised a question, after retiring it takes too long for you to receive your benefits, that's your pension. As instructed CS Treasury to shorten the time of processing. When you retire, within 6 months, your benefits and use have come to your account.
yeah, and to add to that, there's been a lot of reforms in retirement benefits authority. Before, they even used to ask for your past payslip. Now imagine you are working for 35 years and they're asking for your past payslip. Do you even know where it is? You cannot know. Ilienda kitambo, kwanza pengine likuliwa na panya. So those are the kind of things we are removing, so that the processing of your becomes a bit easier. And most government departments have gone digital. So all the is availability of funds, which everybody knows that we are financially constrained in the country. Okay, we get another with the issue. Yes, and we also want ladies to participate, so that when you go back, hiyo meeting ilikuwa ya wanaume peke yao.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kwa majina naitwa Richard Kiriot, ni president wa Kapsabet. Thank you so much, Chair and the team. Mimi, as a little bit hard, and believe you me, I think these people would want to participate, but the terms used, this document is very complicated to understand. So for these people to actively participate in the same thing, then I beseech you, maybe next time we just cascade this thing to a language that is understandable by the common man for the betterment of everybody else to contribute. So as much as we want to contribute and talk a lot about the finance bill, and first, I support the whole thing. Information from everyone from the ground upwards. So if next time, this is a suggestion, who understand the content of the whole thing. Otherwise, on my side, that is comment. I have no query about the whole thing, understand some part of it. So, you have KRA as an agent which collect taxes on behalf of the residents. Now, my question to the parliamentarians and the team chaired by Cable Chair here is that the collection of taxes, we are being encouraged to pay taxes. Now, the problem is, as a commoner, is that as we pay taxes, we have the use of ETR machines, which major shops, major business people are using to collect taxes. I mean, we are paying through the same. Now, the KRA team, which are actually deployed to work within our localities, have not been actively following what happened in this. The same thing is changed. You are buying now using sent money. Other shops stop using ETL machine. So I beg you also to just try to look on that so that collecting taxes is actually accurate and up to.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I think you have done a very good proposal. But I was also saying that this we make the bill more simpler for people to understand. And I'll tell you that is true. Because if you are not a lawyer, like the senator, it may not be very easy for you to understand the bill. So I really, truly understand. And I think next time, because we are evolving, we are going to make the bill, we will comment to make the bill a bit simpler for people to understand. And also, for our staff coming a day before to take you through the bill. You know, when you are taken before the bill, if you are taken like yesterday, now we are also coming. So I think that's something that's very positive, the commendation you have done. On the issue of KRA, I think this one will our staff, they are taking notes. We will follow your concern that really people are not paying the taxes. But we're also looking at how to expand the tax base so that at least we get more money. You know, you realize not everybody pays a tax, especially income tax. VAT you pay when you buy things from the goods from the market, you supermarket and shops to pay VAT. But many people don't pay tax also.
Yes, me just wanted to add one to say that to encourage the participants who have come here, because when the last presenter talked, and anyway you have said it very well, Chair, that we need to simplify this document. But I'm just telling Wananchi that it is very good that you have come, at least so that you know what we do in Parliament. And as much as how the issues of taxation is very complicated, you may feel that it is not really affecting you per se, but you see these are very many clauses. And is to collect revenue, because this is a committee of finance. And once we are able to collect revenue, especially the revenue that goes to big companies, which may not be affecting you, it's enough revenue, it will be able to make roads, it will be able to provide electricity and many services. So that is where where you get it. And whichever manner you talk about, you say, will be captured by our clerks here, and they will interpret it in a better way. So do not get worried. Just say as you. But anyway, I will just encourage people. I say thank you so much, and the chair has properly put it. we'll try next time to simplify it. I know we wrote at particular clauses that affect those particular regions. Yesterday we were in Busia and we were able to cite the clause that affects the transportation of sugarcane, and that made it actually very be understood. So we need to also look in the bill where in particular affects that particular region and put emphasis and explain to them, because maybe it is not the entire bill that they could be interested in, it is particular clauses. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you very much, but what we can look is tax on region, we can look tax on sectors. Maybe before I give chance to our senator, anybody who has something remaining? Okay, yeah. And another one, right? I want to take two.
From the Sume constituency. When I came in, the lady who was presenting was talking about per diem. For those of us who are working, issue of per diem. Because normally when you are sent to go and work, you are given money, you do the budget, and then how come again you want to come in and tag and respond to them? Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman, and all protocol observed. My name is Benjamin, resident here in Kapsabet, Showground. Much into the bill or the finance bill, but I have just a few ways, just one or two. One, I can see the government is really trying to put its mouth close to this Bitcoin activities and gambling. And as we know, these activities, they have done a very great damage in social economic of our people. So many families have broken down because of people engaging in activities that they don't understand, and then they get caught. These activities are equally dangerous as the brew that we call changa. So, through you, Chair, when we go back to Parliament, I would really request that why don't we legalize this changa so that the government can get revenue out of it. The gambling activities like the Bitcoin, go into that changa, let people come up, put up good production plants, produce changa in a hygienic way. I know there is a problem with the alcoholic content of the changa. Let it be regulated and let people take, but the government should get revenue out of it, because at the end of the day, the government must raise revenue, the government must get taxes so that the country can run. Number two, about what my friend talked about this budget making process. Not so many people understand. The language that is used, common humanity cannot understand. So, through you, Chair, when you go back to Parliament, why don't you introduce this process into our academic syllabus so that our children can grow up learning how budget process is done, so that in future we don't have people who don't understand, but people who understand this process. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think the last point is very important. How do we bring in public finance into curricular education? I think to me that is very important. People can understand even why you need to be taxed and that kind of thing. So I think that's something very positive. The issue of Jana, to make it official, I don't know if we make it official, mutaja kutengeneza kwa nyumba, because it's going to be expensive, and then but I don't know, that's something which is going to be illicit, so I really don't know. But Jana has been existing for many years, so I really don't know what to do to answer that. Yeah. Okay, fine. Let me talk about the per diem. If you look at the bill, there's a clause in the bill, the current bill, which is proposing that because currently it's 2,000, about 2,000, you are supposed to be taxed on per diem, but it's proposing to increase that to 10,000. Beyond 10,000, you are going to be taxed. Why do government tax per diem? I think that's the issue with TSS. And you know, there are some companies and traders who hide. They say, we have given my employees, what do you call it, per diem. So their income is not taxed. So that's the way now the government captures them, so that they don't use that one as a reason not to pay tax. So just understand. Secondly, we also need money, as you said, to fund the government programs. Let me ask Honorable Ruto.
Quickly, because time is not on our side, kwa hiyo ya ADM, up to now, every other benefit you're having from your employment is regarded as your income. Up to now, whatever allowance can be called. But what taxman is looking at is, first of all, can this allowance make you compete outside your area of employment? County government ya Nandi anakutuma Kisumu kazi, inafaa kulipia nyumba, inafaa kulipia chakula. So what has been there up to now was KRA was allowing that it's regarded as your other comfort. But now, because of change in inflation, prices, sasa lifted from 2,000 to 10,000. Ile sheria tulipitia December ilifocus kwa public sector. So that the 10,000 you are allowed per day, kupatia chakula na mahali pa kulala. Any other benefits beyond there is regarded as a benefit to you. And what is a benefit to you other than comfort is what KRA is saying now, giving the tax out of that. So it's a benefit to us. So now kisabiri ile unapewa kwa bandia mpaka 10,000. Ukipewa 16,000, hiyo 6,000 iko juu kwa sababu ya tax. Hii afanywa mnyamoko wale. It's because of that only that this sheria imewekwa. Now this particular law is going to establish a regulatory authority that is mandated to license the operators. Hata kama saizi kila mtu anaamuka na vibe license yake, anaregister watu na ajulikane ni nani. So before you operate in Kenya, you will be now subjected to register. Mpaka ujulikane, ofisi iko wapi, director ni nani, unafanya kazi gani. Alafu baada ya sasa ukikuwa na issue, you will be called upon by the regulator, and that's what we sort of the issue cases. Sijaona mama, sitafurahi kama sijaona mama ya nyumbani. Mama nijajua sauti genge, amneran. Mama iwe kwa bila, mama sasa sauti takibioso kangia. Koma leo jinaji bioso, amneran ni kalia.
Honorable Ruto, you are out of order. There are only two languages in Nepal, either Kiswahili or English. Now, hii kino naongea hapa. You are out of order. Totally out of order. Mheshimiwa nataka kuongea kidogo.
Thank you, Chairman. Now, on per diem, I just want to add something small. You know, businessmen do try to maximize their profit. And they will need to pay their staff as much as possible, especially if that payment will help them to pay less tax. If per diem is not taxed at say more than the proposed 10,000, many companies can decide to pay per diem at 50,000 so that they compensate their staff. They give them more. And if it is not taxed, then they benefit because there are people that if the receiver, the payee, is not taxed, the employer will benefit because he pays the 50,000. For him it is an expenditure deductible from payable tax. And in doing this, he will also be giving more to his staff, not salary, because salary, he doesn't give it through salary, because salary is taxable, clear. But if per diem is not taxable, then why not use per diem to compensate his staff and he deducts that payment as part of his operational expense?
Thank you very much for those presentations and comments. I'll take this opportunity to invite our senator.
One more question.
Oh, is that another one? Okay, yes.
My question is, I don't know this from the pamphlet you have given us, but as in our team, mostly in Kapsabet, we have these lotto machines, this betting that is going on. Why? Is it allowed to be in the field? If it's allowed, why don't you give them taxation so that they operate comfortably and the girls don't rush to their businesses every now and then disturbing them? Or if it's not allowed, why don't it be banned in the government? Because we are always asked, can you close those lottos in your areas of jurisdiction? Yet, it came into the country well known. That is only my question, because we are getting frustrated and it's the government who is allowing, either tax them, they work comfortably. I think that person who was talking of Changa, he was not talking really that we opened Changa in Nandi, but he was comparing it with the lottos that are going on, and every now and then you are told, go get them, we get them, we are taken to court, we are always at the court with the owners, and you find the owners are able to employ, to hire another.
Lazima waulizwe kila wakati kwa sababu ni mjibu wa sheria. Secondly, sessional chair, I'll try to be very brief. I only operate when my notes are all over. But I want to say this. Article 103 talks about the money bill, the imposition of taxes, and the issue of imposition of charges. The reason I'm here is because money bill does not originate from the Senate. It originates from the National Assembly, and it is the exclusive mandate because taxation under the money bill. And we have had a discussion, even this matter has ended up in Supreme Court. So the reason I'm here is because it will not make its way to the Senate, but only the budget making process will make its way under Division of Revenue, where we discuss the issues of, especially concerning allocation to counties. And therefore, it is in order that I'm here. And on the finance bill, I know the struggle. The only advantage I have is I'm trained in law. But reading this finance bill, you must have the parent bill so that it becomes. But I know it's complicated because when you look at the amendments that have been done, the Amendment on Excise Duty Act, the Amendment on Income Tax Act, the Amendment on Tax Procedure Act, In essence, you must read, but nataka niseme vile wananchi wamesema, ikiwezekana mwaka kesho mutafute something simple, hata kama ni a brief. Unajua kwa bill kuna mahali inaitwa bill digest, mweze kulio ikuwe circulated ile something brief, hata kama ni kutumia diagrams. You know, people understand better with diagrams. I'm told by people who are teachers. So sessional chair, Mheshimiwa, and division of revenue, you know, the budget we are discussing this year is 4 trillion. 4 trillion Kenya shillings. And I know Kenya has operated on deficit of the budget. The money we divide in the parliament, because parliament means the Senate and National Assembly, as per Article 93, is the money that is raised through finance bill. So ile pesa tunagawa kule Nairobi, hii sheria ndio inapatia serikali nguvu ya kusanya hiyo ushuru, ndio tuende tugawe, tuweke katika bajeti. So I wanted my people from Nandi can get the benefit of that. So this process is serious. I would have expected that the chair, the entire county of Nandi should be here, mpaka tunaweka kiwanja. Kwa sababu hii inagusa kila mtu. Hii mambo ya ushuru, ukinunua sukari, ukinunua kalamu, lakini najua wale tumefika hapa ni kuwakilisha wale wengine. Article 201 is it talks about the principles of finance. Nitaka nianzie hapo so that it becomes easy for our members of the public to. I'll try to simplify. You know, Article 201 talks about principles of finance, lazima public participation and fair taxes. I think that is what is important. Article 209, the power to impose taxes and charges, si ya rais, ni ya bunge. I think tuelewe hivyo. Kwa sababu najua kutakuwa na siasa ya finance bill, wengine wanasema sijui rais amefanya hii ama serikali. Hiyo si kazi ya rais. Kazi ya bunge ndio kupeana mambo ya kodi. And that is Article 209 of the Constitution of Kenya. And even Article 2 through the sessional chair, Mheshimiwa Mboni, imposition of taxes done through legislation. Now the president does not legislate, it is us members of parliament who legislate. So nilitaka wananchi waelewe. Ndio mtu asitoke hapa, this is the right place. Usiposema yote hapa, hakuna mahali pengine utasema. Si kwa chief, si kwa pastor. These are the people, whether we like it or not, are the people who will determine the process of legislation. Of course, the process of allocation, Chair, with all due respect, because I'm just trying to rush through, is Article 249. The allocation of budget should be done by Parliament. And I think that is the issue we can always agree. Secondly, Chair, let me go to finance bill quickly, because I was just building my argument. One, I'm happy. Na nataka tushukuru this committee, umewapanguzia machozi hawa retirees, because most of them are sick, they are old, they are tired, they have given a lot for this nation. And I would have expected people who are expecting to retire, that the gratuity exemption is very important. Imetolewa kwa income tax. So the issue of gratuity to retired or retirees is significant in this finance bill. So if finance bill is one of the progressive finance bills in recent time, kuna watu naona kwa social media wanajaribu kusema uongo. Na hiyo vitu haipo. In fact, the retirees will be income ile unapata, the pension you get, it will not be subjected to taxation the way income tax is subjected to. So I wanted us to be clear. So this is a great milestone, because we know retirees are tired, they are sick, as our brother is saying. So this is the only support we can give it to you. And it depends, of course, on how you did retire. My only concern, Chair, is on royalties. You know, Nandi has gold, mining royalties. And you know, when we passed division of revenue a few weeks ago, Nandi was getting zero in terms of additional, conditional, and allocation. Yet, Kerema Gold Mine pays almost 200 million in tax. The turnover is around $200 million US. That is around 2 billion. yet Nandi receives nothing on mining royalties. So we need to look at that. Number two, Chair, we need to look at this issue of royalties, especially to our musicians. Because most of the musicians, most of them, the artists, the young men and women who have started to be artists, most of them are still struggling. So is there a way we can create an exemption? Before I know you will go to third rating, to exempt or give even a 5-year break or a tax holiday break for our coming artists. Most of them are young people who have not even earned anything in their life. And you know, to record, they might need 3,000 to 15,000 to record a song in studio. So I want to agree, and can we also, because there is this content creation of social media. I saw Nairobi City County allowed them to fly the drones, to do their content creation in TikTok, use the spaces or public spaces. Is there a way in this finance bill or in another finance laws that you are coming up to create an exemption so that young people can come to here in Kapsabet, do their videos, even in public places, without being subject to the municipal or county charges? So I wanted to say, and then this Music Copyright Society of Kenya, royalties, wanatesa hawa haipati sana. So we need to relook at what royalties, can we give them exemption so that we can. Chair, I wanted to make 2 comments. Another one is on the issue of clause number 36 that was amended, the VAT Act of 476. I'm happy because one is there is an exemption, especially on manufacturing of drugs. Chair, even raw reported. Because as we talk, most people are carrying drugs in their focus as we talk. Most people are sick. In fact, what is eating? 60% of any household in Kenya, including Nandi, they spend it on medicine and food. So if you get 1,000, 60% will go to food and medicine. So I hope with the exemption created to manufacturing of pharmaceuticals in the country, as per clause number 36 as you have proposed, will allow the cost of drugs to come down. Because at the danger, Chair, and we need to be serious as a country. The moment we don't allow the drugs that we get from hospitals and pharmacies to come down, they will be what we call generic or fake drugs will thrive. The way you have talked about betting machines who are coming through Magendo. So the only way is to create an enabling environment for industries to set up in Kenya, so that you remember the issue of COVID vaccines. Countries were making millions outside Kenya because we didn't have machines. So I agree with you. The issue of sugar, transportation, and my brother Paulo has alluded to this fact. Nandi, for many people who don't know, we are among the biggest growers in this issue of sugar. Ukienda hapa mpaka Chesume, mapanda miwa. Ukienda kuanzia hapa Aldai na kwenda kuanzia Taunet all the way mpaka Chesweta Maraba huko Ario, tumepanda mpaka Kemelai Maraba, tumepanda miwa. Mpaka nafikiri hapa Kamoiwa na kwenda mpaka Cheptirwai. Wakati tulifanya Sugar Act, tuliestablish a thing called Sugar Development Levy, ambayo itakana kuwa sales kusaidia kuunda mabarabara huko mashinani. Hasa wakati So I want to agree, mukitupea hii ya sugar, transportation of sugar cane to the factories, it is a significant boost to the sugar cane farmer. Lakini ndakuja kwa maneno ya chai, because I really wanted to emphasize, because sisi hapa wengi wetu ni wakulima. Maisha yetu ni ukulima. So ukitaka kusaidia sisi ni kupatia sisi kitu mzuri kwa mambo ya ukulima. So kwa hiyo mambo ya transportation of sugar cane to factories, we agree. Nimeona mnataka mambo ya local mobile phones, hiyo ni sawa. Kwa sababu saa hii tunaenda digital. I know I'll come to virtual before I conclude. Alafu mambo ya bodaboda, pia vijana wengi hapa wanategemea bodaboda kujikimu kimaisha. Nimeona mambo ya electric, I know we are going green. Electric bicycles and buses, I think I agree with that. Into packaging of materials for tea and coffee. Hiyo mambo ya tea and coffee packaging materials, tulikuwa juzi na hii Nandi, Bomet, Unajua chairman, tuko na shida sana kwa hii vitu ya majani chai. Uliona last year Western Kenya 34 billion ya chai kutoka Western Kenya, tunaitwa Western Kenya from Nakuru this way mpaka Kisii, Nyamira. 34 billion haikuuzwa kwa sababu ya ukora ya wale wako pale Mombasa. Hata tunapongana na sector reforms ambayo rais anatusaidia kufanya, chai iko na shida sana. Tunapoongea sasa hii belt yetu kuuza cumulative kilo of tea is 98 shillings. Shilingi 9 inaenda na mchunaji chai. Shilingi 10 ni fertilizer wewe mwenyewe na nini na nini. So there is unpredictability in the tea sector, and that is why we wanted even to propose, and I know the tea amendment will come to you, we do direct sales, kwa sababu kuna cartels mingi who don't want us to sell our tea directly. So when you talk about these packaging materials, Chair, ungetusaidia. Unajua ukiongelea packaging materials ni ile kama hii I don't want to say the name so that they don't accuse me of marketing it, because hii packaging haitusaidia. Mungetusaidia tu na kitu moja, na ndio maana nimekuja siku ya leo hapa. Mungetucreatea exemption of VAT na exemption of establishment of tea factories. Let me use Siret ambao walijenga hapa Khartoum. Siret owner, it is owned purely by farmers. Wacha hii multinationals. Sasa juzi wakati tulirequest tax exemption ya 40 million hawakupewa. Na hii factory inajengwa na wakulima. Mbona tuende tu packaging hii makaratasi badala ya kutupea sisi the real thing, so that we establish more tea factories in Nandi, in Chesumei, in Nandi, ndio hawa vijana ambao wanasimama na akina mama na hawa wakulima wapate. Sisi namna hiyo. So that we establish, nikikwambia hii mafactory yote hata hiyo iko hapa kwa hiyo ukienda Bongo hii hapa Bongo Valley Sanalo, they are built by the people who have money. But if you were to give us exemption of even importations of machines and building tea factories, these people would own and decide. Na hiyo mnataka kuangalia pia na sugar factory. Tunapoongea hapa Nandi hatuna one sugar factory. Na wakati tulileta sugar act, mambo ya zoni ilileta shida. Kwa sababu ukienda hapa Cheswelta hapa Mamboleo karibu hapa border ya Kisumu, the only Chemasa hapa, the only nearest ni Jemeli. Sasa wamelisi bado tuko na vita ya mambo ya leasing na nuclear. Ukienda Moroni iko border wanataka polisi. So the nearest is Miwani, kuna Moroni, kuna Jemeli na kuna Kiboso. Hapa kaunti ya Nandi hatuna sugar factory. Ukienda hii side, the nearest from Chepterwai and Singlet is Butali and Naitiri, ambao wanachukua mambo ya miwa. So what I'm proposing, why don't we create, I'm happy mmesema hii mambo ya packaging materials for tea and coffee. Why don't we propose a way of giving exemption to farmers, especially small older farmers, to establish their own factories? Unajua the reason chairman tunafinywa pale Mombasa kutouza chai yetu ni kwa sababu wale wadosi ndio wanaamua multinationals. That's why they can decide. That's why they don't want direct sales. Wanasema iko reserve price. Because they are the big boys club. Lakini ule mchunaji chai kutoka hapa Kamogo, kutoka hapa Andai, kutoka Mazao, they cannot access that market, yet we wanted to do DSS direct sales of our tea. Chairman, that is what I wanted to say on the finance bill. But as farmers, we want to see even on the issue of fertilizer. We are grateful to the government because the president has done something to 2,500. But we are still struggling with small something. Hii mambo ya fertilizer we can do it in Kenya. The same you gave exemption to issue of health related. Why don't we ensure, because as we agriculture, kila kitu ni agriculture, hata animal feeds, mambo ya fertilizer, mambo ya seeds, and I know my brothers from this are aware. Sasa tulikuwa tunapata bei nzuri mbolea, lakini kwenda Kenya hawana seeds na still very expensive. Mpaka ilikuwa imefika karibu 600 kwa kilo mbili wakati tukupanda mwezi wa hivi. Na yet Kenya seed iko hapa Kitale. But it is cheaper to import even seeds from outside than even here, and we are propagating here in Kenya seed in Kitale. So can you do something about creating a uniform exemption or even zero rated in terms of farm inputs, including farm machinery? Because I know you can do it. And 80% by the members of parliament come from agriculture and defense. So I want to appeal to that chairman. And the second and final point is on tax procedure. I think I've talked about tax relief, continuing gratuity tax relief, time frames removal in tax objections and appeals not to include weekends and holidays. I think those are things we can agree. Those are under tax procedure, and I'm happy you have made a proposal towards that event. So members of public and members, my colleague members of parliament, I think, in my own opinion, so that I move quickly to the virtual assets bill, I think this finance bill is one of the best since 1963 when Kenya gained independence. We will not go back, and I have seen people trying to spread propaganda. Even they were saying there is taxation on some of the agricultural products. It's not there in the bill. I want to request people to read. Wasome sheria. Na hakuna new taxes imekuwa introduced. Nataka ni because unajua chairman, kuna watu wakishika microphone, hasa wenzetu wanasiasa vile tuko wamesema. Unasikia wanasema Kenyans are overtaxed. Then you ask how? Hawezi kukuambia. Na ukienda ngambo wanaweza tax mpaka ile hewa unapumua. Lakini Kenya there are so many tax reliefs, there are many tax referral tax exemptions that have been created. There are many zero rated, and that is why cost of living, and I'm happy chairman, in terms of VAT. Chairman, in terms of VAT, you know, CPA was zero affect the man, so I think in terms of VAT, naona mjekusa mumewachia mambo ya mkate, mambo ya unga. Sasa tunataka watu wakule vizuri. Hatutaki watu wamvae masufuria. Tunataka na sisi wakulima, ukitupea hiyo exception na iko kitu kingine ya fuel. Sijui tutafanyaje. Unajua mkiangalia mambo ya mbolea ni sawa, lakini tukikuja mbegu, tuone chemicals, tuone mambo ya fuel. Sasa unajua tukiaccept mahali pengine au wakulima wanafinywa na mafuta ya kwenda kulima, wanafinywa na chemicals. And I wanted to make a point. I'm happy there is a process of banning some of the chemicals ambayo tunatumia kwa wanyama na vitu zetu hapa. Unajua according to research in the US ilipatikana kuwa kuna some chemicals ambayo after overtime inaleta cancer. We want you to lead in banning those issues because our wakulima wetu wanatumia wanatumia a lot of things, weeding, insecticides and pesticides, so that we don't risk the lives of our people. So mimi nataka niambie watu wangu wa Nandi, hii finance bill msidanganye. Mimi nimesoma na mimi ni wakili, hakuna kodi mpya imewekwa hapa. Ni vile tu language imetumika ndio tu, lakini nataka niwaambie vile Wakenya wanaongea, hakuna kodi mpya imewekwa katika hii finance bill. In fact ile finance bill ya mwaka jana ndio labda kulikuwa na kodi, lakini hata hii imetoa relief. So nashangaa watu, na nataka niulize watu wa retirees, people of royalties na wale wengine wa resources, you should be happy because you should not allow anybody wadanganya ati msipewe exemption, so that tax income yako through gratuity equal tax exempted. Finally, chair, on virtual assets, ndio nimalizie tone for taking long. Mambo ya virtual assets tunakubaliana, lakini shida ni a few areas. Unajua kuna nchi inaitwa El Salvador who declared kuwa Bitcoin na as a legal tender, but it collapsed after 2021 because of it, World Bank na IMF conditions. So I want us, as we move towards Bitcoins, as we move to the online gaming tokens and NFTs, and we must be aware of that reality that in 2022 it collapsed. And you know, if it collapse, that is it. So as a country, as we move, I know we are moving towards that direction. Virtual ownership and virtual assets are very important. My proposal, I have not seen in your bill the amendment on the issue of property. I am proposing that as you amend this bill, I've read through, maybe when I will sit down, maybe you will clarify, is property, we need to define it to include digital assets, so that anybody who has a digital asset can be able to be captured in this bill. Do you know why I propose that? I propose because when digital asset is, it will be subjected to taxation just like ordinary assets. like capital gains taxes, taxation, among others. So lazima to, in terms of definition of property, to include digital assets so that it becomes easy. Chairman, on the issue of, that is what I wanted to make on the first part. There is also another danger, because this bill is very brief anyway, is the virtual asset vis-a-vis intellectual property rights, vis-a-vis artificial intelligence. Hapo ndio iko kizungumkuti. Because virtual assets, you can define as digital assets. But sasa, how do you, unajua, when you, Chairman, Mheshimiwa Modi, when you publish a book, you have copyrights to it. And intellectual property law or act protects it. So how do we do intellectual property or virtual assets in terms of it? So the question is, and then there is the challenge of artificial intelligence. Unajua, when we are sitting here with the AI, after I've spoken, somebody somewhere, and I think these are brilliant people, they can change my tone or even how I dress. So what is, how will we handle? And you know, you cannot legislate on artificial intelligence because it's a moving target. It's only through regulations. So, Chair, I wanted clarity on virtual intellectual property rights, on the ownership and protection of AI-generated content. So, if this person generates AI content, how will you protect it? Unlike the other one, Chair. So, in essence, what I can say about this bill, because I can see we have spent a lot of time, is this is the right direction. But we need clarity on the aspect of the property. We need clarity on the virtual intellectual property. And indeed clarity on artificial intelligence and also AI-generated content. And then, you know, the problem with AI, the person who generates might not be the real inventor. So you need, Chairman, to clarify on the issue of innovation, innovators, and the issue of originality, the issue of capture, so that we can ensure. But I want to ask our people, the digital space and the virtual asset is one of the critical bills that we must have, because these are best practices internationally. So Kenya haiwezi watu wa nyuma, because Kenya is the economic hub of East and Central Africa, and also part of the society of the world. So hii virtual assets, and unajua Mheshimiwa, nikimalizia, wazee wetu walikuwa wanaweka mali yao kwa ng'ombe, wanaweka mali yao kwa shamba. Sasa tumeenda ingine inaitwa Bitcoin. Kuna ndugu amemention hapo. Sasa tumeenda ingine inaitwa NFTs. Sasa mambo unamalizia, kuna internet banking. Nowadays even you can transfer billions from here to another account while sitting. Utikani kwenda KCB hapa. So now ndio wananchi waelewe, sasa ile ng'ombe, ile shamba, ile mahindi ulikuwa unaweka kwa store, sasa kuna kitu inaitwa virtual, tunaweza weka mali yako. Lakini of course hatuwezi pingana ile ya Mungu ambaye alisema tuweke mali yetu pale mbinguni, ambaye na nafikiri haitakulwa na ile termites, hii haitakulwa na mchwa. So that is what I wanted to say. But on the virtual service providers bill, Chairman, I think you need to tell the Speaker and your committee at the House of the National Assembly to still take time. Hawa wananchi hawajaelewa, na hapa ni town, hawajaelewa vizuri. So we need to lakini on finance bill, please mtusaidie kwa mambo ya wakulima. Tutashukuru tukipata hiyo zero rate exemption, ndio tuweze kutoa tuweze kutoa stima imeenda, tuweze kutoa ile mkulima. Unajua Chairman, hao watu wangu wasipoenda mashambani hautakula kitu Nairobi ama bunge. Hata umenikumbusha shida yenye tuko nayo ni Kenya Power. Na wameenda zaidi, nataka niwaongelee, sijui wamesikia. They are supported. Mimi nakaa hapa Mosuria, nimekaa 3 days without electricity. Imagine. Hii Kenya Power ni wakora. Na sijui wanaanuanga stima kwa sababu ikianza kunyesha tu wanaenda na stima. Ukienda Mandera, Garissa, uende hiyo sehemu yote, they are not connected to national grid except Garissa, Ukienda Marsabit, uende Mandera, uende mpaka Wajir, hawajawekwa kwa ile inaitwa national grid. Mimi nataka na Kenya Power, it looks like hawataokoka. So hata mimi nataka nishukuru, that is why hata hii stima imeenda when I wanted to mention. Can we do something about tax to zero rate? Mambo ya, thank you. To zero rate. Mambo ya solar panels. Najua watu wangu wanatumia ingine inaitwa D-light, ile ndogo ya kuweka huko mashinani. To zero rate mambo ya panels ni 15,000 moja saa hii. If we zero rate itakuwa 5,000. Alafu hii lithium battery ya solar saa hii chairman, it ranges between 120,000 to 130,000. Kwa sababu Nandi na Kenya is a tropical zone na tuko najua most of the day. And you know with the current solar panels it takes only 20-30 minutes imejaa. Is there a possibility to zero rate lithium batteries? Ndio ikuja hata 50,000, 30,000, ndio Kenya Power kicheza, tunaenda kwa solar. Sindio? Ananmauna? Because Kenya Power, they are not reliable. You can imagine kama uko na vitu yako kwa fridge, unatumia kwa biashara yako, ama kwa machines yako na imeenda kama saa hii. So mimi naomba tu kwa mambo ya solar, in the spirit of President's Green Energy Chairman, if you want green energy, let us zero rate. Na nimeona mume exempt. Let us zero rate mambo ya any solar related. Tukue na solar panel, unajua watu wangu wananunua ile inaitwa Sunking. Ile ndogo ya Sunking, ile ndogo haisaidii sisi. Then hiyo lithium battery itoke 130,000 kwa sababu hao watu wangu hawezi. Sai 130,000, 120,000. So chairman, with those many remarks, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Senator. Kwa kweli Kenya Power wamechangia. We have had you, all those proposals we have had them, but I will request you put them in written form so that we can also consider them among others. Any proposal you do, we are going to consider. If it is going to help Kenyans, who are we not to help you? Sindio? Kwa hivyo, hiyo nzuri. Na watu wa Nandi, mlichagua senator ambaye ni Simba. Akiongea, we are like to listen to him. TikTok. I like listening to him because he makes a lot of sense. Na aongopi mtu. Aongopangi. Wakati mwingine anaongopa anasema, huyu senator kesho nitamuona ama atakuwa president. Lakini the whole thing namuona kwa akiongea. Sindio? Tunataka wanaume kama senator. With a few remarks, let me thank you a lot, very much for coming. And I assure you, all your views are going to be taken into consideration into the finance bill, and it's going to help this country. So, in Parliament, we don't close meetings, we adjourn meetings. We don't close meetings. There being time is 23 minutes to 2. The meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much.